Hello, Aluxers. This is a special series we're doing here on Alux, where every day we showcase the life story of some of the most important figures in tennis. Today we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Roger Federer. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hey there, Aluxers. Happy to have you back. Today we've compiled 15 facts for you about one of the world's most renowned athletes of all time. Everyone knows of Roger Federer, and most people know a lot about his career and achievements. To think the man is only 37 years old is an astonishing fact in itself, but it's not an unknown one. We had to dig deep into the records of his life to try and enlighten you, our esteemed viewers, with information that may have previously passed you by. So, before we begin with the little-known facts, let's just list a few of his famous achievements in case any viewers have been living under a rock for the past 20 years. Roger Federer was born in the Swiss Alps on August 8, 1981. He's won 20 Grand Slam world titles, 8 of those being at Wimbledon. He's been awarded the title of World Sportsman for the last 5 times. Many have called him the greatest tennis player of all time and the greatest athlete of our generation. But let's cut to the chase, shall we? Here are the 15 things you didn't know about Roger Federer. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Number 1. Federer lost his first match as a pro. Federer turned pro toward the end of 1998 at the age of 17. His first match was in a tournament in Gstaad, Switzerland, near to where he grew up. He lost in the first round to Lucas Arnold Kerr. If Federer had been a boxer, then a defeat in the first match could possibly have been something he would never be able to recover from. Luckily, tennis is a lot more forgiving. Conversely, Lucas Arnold Kerr, an Argentine, now retired from professional tennis, never won a singles tournament during his career. However, if he ever has grandchildren, I'm sure they'll love to hear the story about how he beat the great Roger Federer in straight sets. And knowing grandparents, those kids will hear that story over and over again. Number 2. Federer's charity work is nearly as extensive as his sporting achievements. Federer has tirelessly worked to give back to a world that blessed him with unbridled natural talent. In 2004, he auctioned off the racket he used to win Wimbledon and donated all the proceeds to charities helping with relief work after Hurricane Katrina. In 2006, he organized Rally for Relief with other professional players in order to raise money for those affected by the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. In 2010, he staged a match in Switzerland between himself and Rafael Nadal, called Match for Africa. The game raised over $4 million for charities that help to provide education to impoverished children in South Africa. It's estimated that Roger Federer's proactive philanthropy has raised well over $60 million for charitable causes so far. Number 3. Roger Federer is a doctor. In 2017, the University of Basel awarded Roger Federer with an honorable doctorate. He was given the title as a result of raising the reputation of his home city and country so extensively on the international stage of competitive sport. The university also praised him for all the charitable work he's done to raise education standards for so many children in South Africa. It's estimated that over 100,000 children have been provided with better educations thanks to Dr. Federer's philanthropy. The class of 2017 from the University of Basel were extraordinarily lucky to have such an esteemed guest of honor at their graduation. Number 4. Federer could have been a professional footballer too. Federer played a lot of sports growing up. His 2 favorites were tennis and soccer. His soccer coach at the time said he was easily the best midfielder he had ever coached. He remarked that Federer had the brains to make it as one of the world's best playmakers. However, at the age of 12, he decided to give up on all other sports and concentrate solely on tennis. He believed that his natural talent in this sport surpassed his abilities in soccer. However, in hindsight, it's probably fair to say he made a good choice. Number 5. Federer is one of the highest-earning sportsmen of all time. Roger Federer's prize money alone currently stands at a staggering $19 million. When you add this to all the lucrative sponsorship deals, his net worth becomes an astonishing total. He's currently sponsored by Uniqlo, National Swiss, Credit Suisse, Rolex, Lindt, Sunrise, Mercedes-Benz, Gillette, Barilla, and Moet & Chandon. It's estimated he earns around $70 million a year, and his net worth is somewhere around $450 million. Number 6. Federer had anger management problems in his teenage years. When Federer was young, he would have had major tantrums and outbursts of anger on the court. Tennis is as much a game of mental resilience as it is physical skill. What often holds back the best players is their inner demons. In an intimate interview, Federer said that everything changed at the age of 21 when his childhood coach and good friend died in a car crash in South Africa. This made him reassess his life and character. He grew in maturity and adopted a far more reserved and humble approach on the court. Many experts believe that this ability to control the mental side of his game helped him to become the greatest tennis player of all time. Number 7. Federer was excused of military service due to back problems. It is compulsory for all Swiss citizens to complete a year of military service for their country. In 2003, having already been a pro tennis player for 5 years, he was selected for draft. However, he was deemed unfit due to back problems. Instead, he had to contribute 3% of his taxable income to the Swiss government. Many criticized the decision at the time, saying Federer was given special treatment. The argument was that a man of Federer's athletic prowess surely couldn't be so physically impaired. However, 35% of all Swiss citizens are actually excused from military service because they are also deemed unfit. While the Swiss hold their army in high regard, they also have great respect for medical health care as well. Every young man is given a rigorous health check before being drafted to the army. Furthermore, soldiers are required to carry heavy packs on their back for long marches, which creates a strain that is far different to anything experienced while playing tennis. Number 8. Federer has 2 sets of identical twins. Federer has 4 children. Both are sets of identical twins. In 2009, his wife, former tennis pro Mirka Vavrinec, gave birth to identical twin girls. The couple named them Mila and Charlene. In 2014, Mirka fell pregnant again, and I'm sure the happy parents were pleasantly surprised to find out the phenomenon had occurred again. This time she gave birth to twin boys, who were named Leo and Lenny. We hope they all inherit the talents of their parents and become tennis pros themselves. Can you imagine watching Wimbledon in the future? The women's final starring Mila Federer and Charlene Federer. The men's final starring Leo Federer against Lenny Federer. It may get a little confusing for spectators, though, considering they're both identical twins. Interestingly enough, though, Federer's only sibling, his sister Diane, is also mother to twins. There must be something going on in that gene pool. Number 9. Federer has been the world number 1 for the most consecutive weeks. Federer has been ranked at world number 1 for a total of 310 weeks so far in his career. 237 of those weeks came back-to-back from February 2004 to August 2008. Federer dwarfs his nearest opponents in the field quite magnificently. Pete Sampras is the second player to have held the number 1 spot for the longest, with a total of 286 weeks. His longest back-to-back run was a measly 102. The only person that got anywhere near Federer's record for consecutive weeks was Jimmy Connors. He held the number 1 spot for 160 weeks between July 1974 and August 1977. Number 10. Federer has 3 estates and over 50 cars. Federer has a lavish apartment in Dubai, estimated to be worth around $5 million. He decided to buy the place after realizing it was a great location to train in order to get accustomed to playing in extreme heat. The average daily temperature in Dubai is 102 degrees Fahrenheit or almost 40 degrees Celsius. He also has 2 properties in his native country of Switzerland. One is a modern ski chalet in the Swiss Alps, valued around $8 million. The other is a penthouse apartment in Zurich, one of the most expensive cities to buy property in the world. Federer is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz and therefore has an endless garage of their finest vehicles. He said his favorite vehicle is the SLS AMG Roadster that goes from 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds and costs around $250,000 brand new. And Aluxers, we talk much more about the luxury car brand in our video, the 15 things you didn't know about Mercedes-Benz. Curious? Click in the top right corner to check it out. Number 11. 2018 was a record-breaking year for Roger Federer. 2018 was an incredible year of renaissance for Roger Federer. At the age of 37, he's still able to compete with the very best. He started the year with his best record of any previous season, winning 21 games in a row. He's also won the Australian Open. But 2019 could see Federer moving even further into the distance as a record-breaking hero of all times. Pundits have praised his latest successes, saying that his patient, intelligent style of play is the reason he can still compete with the best, despite his advancing years. Number 12. Djokovic may surpass Federer in the future. On October 14, 2018, Djokovic won the final of the Shanghai Masters. His opponent was the Croatian Borna Coric, who he beat in straight sets 6-4, 6-3. Federer had lost to Borna Coric in the semifinal. But the prize money in this tournament means that Djokovic has now won more money than Federer during his career. Former pro Greg Rusetsky, writing for a British newspaper, said that Djokovic had not only surpassed Federer in prize money earnings, but also in the agility he's displayed on the court. Many believe that if Djokovic can show more consistency, he may be the man to break some of Federer's outstanding records in the near future. Number 13. Federer speaks 5 languages. Federer is not only one of the greatest athletes of our generation, he's also a gifted linguist. He speaks German, French, and English completely fluently, while also being able to communicate effectively in Italian and Swedish. We know, it's getting ridiculous now. There is very little to do but admit the fact that Federer is an extremely special man in many ways. And he's only 37. Who knows what the future holds for this legendary man? Number 14. Federer worked as a ball boy. In 1992 and 1993, Federer worked as a ball boy at the Swiss Indoor Championships near his hometown of Basel. Fun fact, if you search on YouTube, it's possible to find the 12-year-old Roger Federer running around collecting balls for his idols at the time. Stefan Edberg won the 1993 tournament, someone who Federer has always praised as a role model. Number 15. Roger Federer brought about the golden age of tennis. Before Roger Federer, many would have said that Pete Sampras was the greatest tennis player of all time. However, he was never that consistent and often lost his cool on the court. Roger Federer personified great sportsmanship whilst breaking every record along the way. In turn, other modern greats such as Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Andy Murray have had to up their games exceedingly to even compete. This is why pundits are calling the current era the twilight of the golden age of tennis. Federer raised the bar so high, the quality of competition we see today is largely down to his excellence. And Aluxers, that's a wrap on the 15 incredible facts about a truly remarkable man. Now, before we go, we have a question for you. It's been mentioned that Roger Federer may be the greatest athlete of our generation, but we're curious. Do you think that crown belongs to anyone else more than it does to Federer? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for being a true Aluxer and watching all the way to the end, here's your bonus. Number 16. Federer has 28 Guinness World Records. Federer's 28th Guinness World Record is holding more Guinness World Records than any other human in history. However, not all of the 27 records are good. For instance, he holds the record for the most defeats in the final of the French Open. Others go beyond just his achievements as a tennis player. He's the world's most powerful sportsman, for example. It's measured by a combination of his earnings, exposure in print and on TV, internet presence, and marketability. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.